Hello guys, and welcome back to another Mecha Break video. Today's video we're going to be doing a beginner's guide on Hurricane. Now we already had a chance to look at Inferno. We wanted to try the twin brother model of Inferno Hurricane. So today we're going to be looking at Hurricane's kit, main weapons, and also the abilities to give us a better understanding of how Hurricane plays. Now, with the changes they did to Hurricane and a better quality of life, Hurricane is definitely something not to be reckoned with. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so now looking at Hurricane's left click. Now, the left click can be used two different ways. You can use it as something to spam, okay? Or it can be used to hold up and charge. All right, now when you let go, it does do a giant EMP that does damage over time for a short period of time. Okay? Now, I find Hurricane charge up beam almost very similar to how I play Panther and Inferno. I think it's a really good idea to always have one charge, just because it's always good to have it. You never know when you might need to use it. I always find that really best, but you shouldn't always just hold it as your only source of power to do damage. You really only want to do that for targets that are going to be sitting there and standing there. Those are the ones you want to specifically do, maybe at an objective point, to keep that EMP DOT blast on there. You don't want to always, every single battle that you are doing, always charge it. So I find it best to always have one ready immediately, so you never know when you're going to need it. But then, depending on the circumstance, you might want to either spam it if you're really close, or hold up and charge up for another attack if you need to, depending on the circumstance. Like I said, it really depends on what you are doing with it. You do have 6 bullets, and they all do pretty good job damage wise. So let's bring out a striker real quick. We're going to bring out Tricera, and you're going to see the damage that we do with a charge up and if you spam it out. So now let's do one full charge up. Like I said, depending on the circumstance, you might want to do this, but it's normally better for a target that's going to sit there and stand there and really utilize that. Again, you can use this for an objection point as well to help keep people off of that objection point. Now, the other thing is to spam it. Now, the closer you are, the easier it is to hit this beam. Okay, now you don't have to be that close to use it, but it just makes it easier just to show you guys. But that is a good way to also do if you are really up close in person. You wouldn't need to hold that charge and get a full charge on beam. The spamming of the weapon is probably going to be way better for you guys. All right, now taking a look at the next ability, which is your right click. This is your decoy drone. Now they ended up changing this, which is super duper amazing, and I find this so much better quality of life. And honestly, respect to all the Hurricane players who were doing the challenge before without this update of quality of life on the decoy drone. Now the decoy drone is a shield that you can put up. Now I am one that I personally feel like Hurricane, as I press my right click, you're going to actually see a normal shield come in front. I personally think that Hurricane should have a normal shield to put up in front, but that's just my take on it. But when you activate this, you would actually bring up a decoy drone. Okay, there's one to my left, and if I press it again, there's one to my right. Now, the things to keep in mind is I'm one of those that like to hold on to the button. If you were to hold on to the button, the right click, you would actually bring out both of them. So be careful when using that actual right click, because you're going to bring out both of them. You don't want to always be doing that. I also noticed when using the decoy drone, if I put one down and someone attacks the second one instead of the first one, when I put up this right click, it would actually get rid of the first one. So there is an order of when the decoy drone is out. I kind of don't like that. I kind of wish they do change that, but keep that in mind when doing that. Also, if you are being attacked and you're being stunned, you want to be careful, because a lot of people's tendencies is to hit shift and jump and then hit that right click. If you hit the right click, you're going to be putting the decoy drone up here and it's going to stay up there. So you want to be careful when using that right click. If you're trying to get out of a sticky situation, you want to make sure you're on the ground to help yourself use that decoy drone, because if not, you might be able to have that decoy drone up there. So be careful. Now, also holding that right click up, you have a 2-second window for a parry. So as a melee player comes to you and brawls with you, you can actually use that right click to actually hit the main shield instead before it hits the decoy drone, keeping that decoy drone there, which is super duper solid. Okay. Now, one thing about the new decoy drone quality of life change is if a melee brawler decides to hit it and it does hit it successfully and destroy it, it would actually stun them. And now this is a hard stun. You can't break out of it. You can't activate your camera. You can't do nothing but sit there for about maybe 1 or 2 seconds tops. And it's a very, very strong ability. So now that gives a chance for a Hurricane player to, 1, get out of that situation if it needs to, 2, also get into a situation where you might be able to turn and target that specific brawler. One thing I find very important, and I was doing this while you were doing the challenge, and I noticed while we're doing the gameplay as well, is when a target is coming after you, like a melee brawler, and they hit that stun and they hit the decoy and they stun themselves, that is a good time when you want to have that charge up beam to hit them, because they're going to be stuck there for about almost 2 seconds. So that is one of the reasons why I say it's always good to have a charge up being ready for yourself, because if I'm charging up and then a brawler decides to hit me, and then I have a decoy drone where they're hitting that instead, I can quickly pivot, and then when they're stunned, I can then hit the blast, and then they're going to hit with that instead. So I just find it easier, again, having that charge up beam always available and having a decoy drone near you so that they target that and not you just makes it so much easier. So like I said, if a melee person is targeting me, so I have one up here, and one is targeting me, they're going to hit that versus me, and I see that, I turn around and then drop this on top of them. So that can also play a factor into when using it. Again, those are the times I find it best to have a charge up shot when I'm being attacked by a brawler. When they are attacking me, when they hit that shield and they stun, boom, I drop it then for them. But normally I would spam out my abilities to quickly do a lot of damage and not just allow it to charge up, because that would do a lot more damage by just dropping everything on them. But having that one charge up beam, like I said, could be very helpful for anything you're about to get into. So it's always a good idea to hold that charge up beam. All right, the next ability we're gonna look for is the defense field drone. Okay, now this is one you can toggle it by your feet, help it easier for you. Just gives you some overall protection to this. altogether. Now you could toggle this off and bring it closer to yourself, bring it back to yourself, so you can have it faster and you can reuse it. You can also put this on your team to help protect them as well. So that's just a way to use it to either help your teammates either do the objective or protect a teammate that is taking a lot of damage, or you can use it for yourself. So it's totally up to you. It does protect a lot of damage, so it is a really good idea to, if you're going to be pivoting in an objection spot, to have this. Or if a sniper is attacking you, not a bad idea to go ahead and pop this up and then just relocate yourself. Keep in mind, when a sniper is targeting you, unless they're free targeting, a lot of times if they are free targeting, they might be able to still hit you, but if you have the decoy drone out there, it's just going to make it tougher for them to specifically lock onto you. Now, looking at the next ability is your Aux 2. This is your turret drone. This pretty much just puts a turret out there. Now, there is a range onto this. As you see here, it doesn't target him, the Tricera. Even though I can technically target it, it does not target it. So you have to be somewhat in a decent range before it starts to do damage. As you see there, now it starts to do damage to that Tricera. Now, what's really good about this specifically is this is a great way to destroy Falcon's missiles, Sky Raiders missiles, Stagel's missiles. Now you're not going to destroy all the missiles, but it's still a good way to destroy some missiles and projectiles that are coming to you. I tend to, while I'm playing, always have one by me. So I have one at all times, either protecting me, trying to get away from some of the stuff, and sometimes even just alerting me that there's a target nearby. And if I'm not paying attention to that lock-on noise that someone's targeting me, at least that will show like the beam is hitting something. And again, it's relatively close. So if that beam is hitting it, that means they're right there. So you have to be very careful. So I always like to have one always on me. I also have been noticing that, and you might have saw it for some of the gameplay, sometimes even using as a way, as you see like a payload, you can use it and drop some drones every now and then. As the payload goes by, the enemy payload, they will start taking damage from it. I also use it as a way to lure people into an area, and then as they pass by the area and they pass the wall where my drone is shooting at them, they come by and they see more drones, and I'm being really protective in that area. So what I noticed specifically about Hurricane is I notice that Hurricane is almost like Penny Parker from Marvel Rivals, where you kind of want to lay out all your traps, and as you lay all your traps, you want people to come into your traps so you could do a crazy amount of damage. And I find that is the way I kind of see how Hurricane is played, at least the way I've been playing it specifically. So you don't want to always have all your drones and all your turrets up, because you don't want to waste it. You want to strategically use your drones to either help with the objective or have one by you so that it can help protect you a little bit. So it's not a bad idea to specifically kind of have one stuff always on reserve, so you could use it in a pinch. So that's just the way I tend to play Hurricane. And now the last ability is your focus emitter. Now a focus emitter is just like Inferno. Inferno has this on the first ability, but it doesn't do as much damage. This one's about 1400 give or take damage per tick. In this case, you only have 4 that you can actually grab. So when you use your focus emitter, there's only 4 beams that are going out. Now what's really good about this, if you're really close, just like Inferno, even though it locks onto one target, as the other beam crosses, it would actually cross and also do damage to Tricera as well. So even though you can only lock onto one target, you can have that cross beam actually hit the main target as well. So depending on how you decide to play, if you are up close in person, this can help also do a lot of damage to a target as well. Now, some of the things I noticed when playing a Hurricane is one of the best ones to fight are normally the stationary ones. So your Stego, your Tricera, because they're going to stay in one put for 1 second as they're in Fortress mode or Torrent mode. So that's a good time to when you want to use your charge up beam to be able to do some damage. And if you're really close, use that, spam that ability if you need to of your main weapon. It's not a bad idea to also have your drones out there to help protect you and do some damage onto them. You do have a lot of coverage. You have a lot of shields. So if you're being peppered by one of these tanks, you can protect yourself a little bit as well. One of the weakest I think Hurricane was on with before was melee brawlers. Now, the fact that melee brawlers now can be stunned when they are attacking the decoy drone helps balance Hurricane out a little bit more, where it can be good for a lot of things, but you still have to be on your toes. You still got to be careful when using Hurricane, because even though you have your decoy drone, that can easily get messed up. While you're playtesting the challenge specifically for Hurricane, you would know that Hurricane drones can easily be disabled by Welkin's jamming ray. So if Welkin, you put all your drones out there and Welkin comes in and jams everything, all your drones are gone, and if you don't have anything on reserve, you're pretty much GG's in that scenario. So you want to make sure you're very careful when doing that. It does help balance out when it comes to brawlers. Now you have that stun, but you don't want to go ahead and waste everything. You want to just every now and then have your abilities on reserve, maybe have a couple things to help out, maybe help your teammate, help yourself. But if you're going to be on the objective and you're going to be staying on that objective, it's not a bad idea to use a little bit more resources, but you want to just be careful when doing that. Don't burn through all your resources because you're being bombarded, but keep that in mind when you are playing with Hurricane. All right, and that's pretty much it. What do you guys think about Hurricane? I kind of enjoy Hurricane. Hurricane's challenge is still one of the toughest challenge when you have to fight Welkin and Panther at the exact same time. So that challenge, I think, is probably one of the hardest challenges I've ever done. I think I'm about 7 out of 13 or 15 or whatever strikers we have challenges in, and I've noticed still I think the hardest one is definitely Hurricane. So for those who have done Hurricane challenge even before the quality of life change, kudos to it. You know, I definitely say it's tough getting the Guardian title. I believe someone told me that it changed and it wasn't always a Guardian title, it was called the Defender. But I would say, no matter what, that title is really tough. So for those who have gotten it before the quality of life change, kudos, good job. You're a really great Hurricane player. Now, I feel like Hurricane is a lot better situation where it can be a little bit more better defender. And you can see the resemblance between Inferno and also and Hurricane. We did a little bit some lore, so if you guys want to check out the lore video we did about all of the strikers and potentially some new strikers that might be coming, definitely check out that video. I think that video is really good. But pretty much Inferno and also Hurricane are pretty much very similar mechs. One is just attacker, one is just defender, but they are supposed to be the opposite of Tricera and also Stego as the energy form version of themselves. So I just thought that was really cool. And overall, I think Hurricane is a really solid unit. Now, let me know down in the comments down below. Do you like Hurricane? Do you find the Hurricanes a pain? Do you agree with that shield in the front or not? I'm curious to see. We will be looking at doing a counter striker series, how to counter Hurricane. Now that Hurricane got buffed, we're going to be looking at how to counter Hurricane potentially this Saturday. So if you guys want to be part of that live testing on how to counter Hurricane, definitely come by, swing by. We'll be doing Hurricane next. Now, I've had a lot of people already ask me about other mechs that we want to counter. I will be looking into doing more mechs. It's just we do one mech per week, give or take. So that also plays a factor. We don't spam out videos as much as we can. We do try to have a work-life balance when it comes to this, and we also do need to play. So at the same time, I find Sunday is the best time for me to do some live testing. I can play a lot longer, stream a lot longer, and get a lot of footage when it comes to that. So all our live testing is done Saturdays. So if you want to swing by Saturday, around 9 Eastern time, give or take, is when we get started with our live streams. So if you want to see that live stream for Hurricane, definitely stay tuned for this Saturday coming up. And if it already passed when this video go up, I would have it as a title for the next video, so you guys can see that next on From the Beginner Guide to How to Counter Hurricane. Now, we like I mentioned, we will be looking at other mechs as well. Some people want Tricera, some people want Stego. We will be looking into all the mechs that we have. Right now, we already did Falcon, we did Welkin, and we also did Inferno as well. So if you want to see any of those three, definitely take a look at it. Now, what we done differently with Inferno is a lot of people have recommendations on what to do, and what we do specifically in those videos is we not only show a base kit a little bit, just kind of how we did here, but a little bit more simplified. But on top of that, we start ranking who is the best strikers to counter Hurricane and which is the worst ones altogether. So we kind of condensed it a little bit. It's still kind of long because we still got to go through all the strikers and what's good and what's not good. So when it comes to them, that's why those videos could be somewhat semi-long. But that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video. I'll see you guys in our next video. Peace.